Hey guys, it's Richard with RichMade Knives. Just sitting out on my back patio enjoying a great breeze out here tonight. This is a post-blade video. A little bit scruffy. Took about a week off. Went and visited some family after blade, but just wanted to do a quick blade recap. I may do a video showing the knives that I picked up, purchased at Blade, but this one is just a video with some chat and show you guys what I'm working on tonight and a little bit about what I'll be working on in the coming weeks. So Blade Show was fantastic. It was super busy this year. I don't think there's any question that there were more people this year attended this year than there were last year. So it was very, very busy. The reception for me was fantastic. All I can say is a big thank you to all of my supporters. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, you probably know that I brought about, or if you follow me on YouTube, you saw the knives that I brought, that I made and brought. I shot a video on those, and I sold all those at Blade, which was fantastic. So really appreciate the support, and looking forward to making more knives. So the next show that's coming up is the USN Gathering in Las Vegas, and I believe that's the first weekend in September. So I will be making a batch of knives for that show, in addition to working on some knives for some customers who have been on my books or who got on my books at Blade Show. So you guys will get your knives here in the queue, and making up a batch of knives for the USN Gathering. So again, just wanted to do a short video tonight. Thank you for your support. It was fantastic. Met a lot of people that I don't think ever, when I was in the pit in the evenings, there were some folks who stopped by and just saw my knives that I had out for show and bought them right there on the spot or got on my books, which was fantastic, and it was wonderful to see. I'm humbled. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I would come home with all the knives that I made or maybe sell a few. I honestly did not expect to sell every single knife that I made, so that was great. And so now it's time to get back to work. It's Friday night here in Colorado, and so I'm going to be working on a couple of knives over the weekend, and I'll show you guys one that I've got here that I just started tonight. And but first, again, I'll close the initial opening of this video with another big thank you to everyone who met me at Blade Show and who supported me and who purchased my knives. I just can't thank you enough. So what am I working on? So tonight I went down in my workshop and just was kind of cleaning up things down there, and I found I had a pile of rejects, if you will, and I think all knife makers do. You know, you get to working on a knife and it just doesn't come out the way that you want, or you make a mistake, and for whatever reason, so you just kind of toss it into a junk pile. And so I've got, you know, the pile in the workshop of stuff that didn't quite work out, or for whatever reason it didn't go as planned. And so I was rooting around in there, and I found a knife that I started. It was one of my first class models, and for whatever reason it didn't come out right. So I grabbed that out of the pile and wanted to see what I could do with maybe salvaging that knife. So that's kind of what I did. And also I picked up some fantastic acrylic handle material from Voodoo Resins, and they work closely with Lucky 13 knives, and I picked up some great handle material from them, and I really want to make a knife with that. But it's been a while since I did a G10 knife, and G10 is a little bit squirrely to work with because you got to be quite a bit more careful, because you can make a mistake in G10 much easier than you can in titanium, and it's very hard to recover from. So before I started using my Voodoo Resins handle material, I figured, well, let me make one out of G10, see how that goes, because I suspect the Voodoo resin handle material will be similar to work with to G10. So I rooted around in my reject pile, pulled out a titanium handle that I had been working on, which is this one right here, and this was formerly a first class that I had been building. So what I did is I just shortened up the handle. I chopped off the end. I shortened up the blade. So I'm going to end up here with about a 3 1/4 inch, a little less than 3 1/4 inch version. But I wanted to show you guys how this came out. This is layered G10. This is a lime green and black layered G10. And I carved it up, contoured it, carved it up, matched it up with the titanium side here that I contoured up and carved up, and so this is what it looks like right now. So this one is you know, just kind of a test to try out what I wanted to do here, which was a G10 on the presentation side and titanium on the lock side. And the challenge, of course, is, again, you guys know I love flippers, and this is a flipper, and it is riding on bearings. Well, the challenge is, hopefully you can hear me. I've got the mic on here, and I am sitting outside, so I hope this helps pick up the wind. We got a jet going up overhead, so that might be a little bit noisy. So I hope the video sound comes out okay. But what I was going to say is, this is challenging because you can't have bearings riding against G10. It'll chew away the G10 in 5 flips and your knife is ruined. So when I was out at Blade Show, I picked up some hardened steel washers that will sit against the G10 side. One washer sits against the G10 side. So what you do is you mill a little recessed area for the washer to sit in on the G10 side. You have to make that flush so that the washer sits flush with the G10, and then the bearing rides against the hardened steel washer, which is set in a pocket on the G10. And I had never done that before. I've always just milled a pocket in the blade. So this one has pockets milled in the blade, and then a pocket only milled on the G10 side with a washer that I then plumbed out to the edge of the G10. So it's centered up, is really just about spot on. So it worked out really well. I mean, it's got great action. The center up is really good. So far this G10 flipper is working out, is coming along about as good as I could have hoped it would. So this is what I'll finish. I'll probably finish up the majority of the work on this one tomorrow. I've got to cut the lock bar, I've got to mill the lock bar relief, I've got to grind the blade, and put the final hardware in here, and this knife should be ready to go. So this is going to be a one-off prototype for testing out a G10 side combined with a titanium lock side on bearings running against a hardened steel washer. So hopefully this works out well, and if this works out as expected, I will then move on to the voodoo resin handles, and we'll do the exact same process. We'll have the voodoo resin handle on the presentation side, we will have the titanium on the lock side, and it'll be a flipper riding on bearings, and I'm going to make about 6 of those, and these will be first classes. This is, you know, inherently came from a rejected first class that I carved down and made a shorter version, so, you know, we'll call this the first class compact size or whatever. But hopefully this one works out well, and then I'm going to make about 6 of those, or however many I have time to make, and we'll bring some of those to USN Gathering for sale. And then I've got to get some senior chiefs knocked out for the gathering. I've got a dealer who wants me to make 3 of them that I've got to bring to the gathering, and then I'd like to make 3 or 4 more to bring. So if I could bring 10 knives to the gathering, that would be great, but it's going to be a lot of work to get all those done between now and the first week in September. So hopefully I have enough time to do that. So that's about it. Just wanted to have a short chat with you guys this evening. Let me know what you think of the outdoor setting. I think it's kind of nice to sit out here with the cool breeze, and the lighting is nice, and hopefully the sound comes out okay with wearing this knife. My 2 dogs out in the yard there having fun with each other. So alright guys, this is Richard with RichMade Knives. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for all the great support at Blade Show. And keep your eyes on my YouTube channel. You will get a video on every knife that I make between now and the gathering. And you'll also get a video of all the knives. that I will be bringing to the gathering. And I'd like to do a blade show video showing the knives I bought at Blade Show. So I am also a knife collector, and so I did pick up quite a few great knives that I was looking for while I was there. I have a slightly different philosophy for the type of knives that I'm attracted to now. Now that I've started making knives, I have more of an appreciation for knife makers who do knife making the hard way, like me, meaning that they have no CNC and they have no water jet. They just do everything the hard way. So I have a greater appreciation for what it takes to do that. And so that's kind of the way that, those are the types of makers that I was looking for when I went to Blade Show. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to support other makers, which, you know, I bought some knives that were made with computer equipment and so forth, but I definitely now have a much greater appreciation for the work it takes to build a knife using nothing but power tools. So I will have some more videos for you guys soon. Thanks for supporting me, and keep your eyes on my YouTube channel. Richard with RichMade Knives signing off. Thanks, guys.